episode ever of AI Reality Bytes. With things changing in this world, we're also changing over here at Wonder Services. We're bringing you brand new content twice a month that is a shorter version of a video and then supplemented by a long form newsletter a week later. So we cannot wait to dive in. The first topic that we are going to be talking about today is why digital transformation, that language, should be retired. Now, fun story, I was at a conference last week in Chicago and I was getting introduced on stage, and I think digital transformation was used like 5 or 6 times in my intro. And it made me step back and be like, okay, first of all, that's just way too much. But second of all, is digital transformation really the right language we should be using as we move in to the AI era? And I think it's absolutely not the right language to be using. In fact, if you are in a company today that's talking digital transformation, you're deploying old technology. So let's talk about why digital transformation should be retired. First of all, it is outdated and it's overly broad. Most of what we have today in organization has been digitized. We've been talking about digital transformation since I think 2010-ish, but it is really no longer the issue. Like, data is digital, systems are already in the cloud, employees are using laptops today. We're not writing stuff down very much. Now, some of our digital tools might not be where we were hoping them to be. ERPs might not be what they were made out to be. Maybe we're still in Excel, but it is digital. So if you're talking digital transformation, I don't know why you're even doing that, because most of our world is digital. Now, when it comes to the AI era, again, this is a massive shift in our thought process, in how we do work. And it's not really about digital. There's actually a physical relationship here with robotics and Internet of Things. And there's this physical and digital world that's going to be combined. Same with services. I've been talking about this with some of my consulting friends. How you define services and how you define tech, it's not going to be as clear cut anymore. It's going to be one and the same. Service providers are going to be doing AI, and technology providers are also going to be doing services. So it is going to be blended in the best of ways, I think, but it's not digital, right? So it's much broader. The AI era is much broader than digital. So we have to think about AI as part of reevaluating and reimagining the value chain of how we do work. Now, as you know, consultants like to come up with terminology. And how often have you heard digital transformation? I mean, you heard it in my bio at like 5 or 6 times alone. So it is something that I think has been hollowed out. It's not a really impactful way of describing the era that we're going into. And I think, unfortunately, if we continue to use digital transformation as the name that we call this new AI era, it really, we get ourselves into a risky situation with complacency, or even not even understanding the magnitude of this change that is coming to us. It really limits our thought process. And so I would highly recommend that we move away from that digital transformation language alone, because it really diminishes the value and the change that's coming our way. Now, this is a seismic shift beyond probably anything that we've lived through in our lifetime. And not only with ethical standards, with how we do work, but what work gets done by a human and what work gets done by a AI agent. And there's large social implications of everything that we're talking about. So giving it an old, hollowed out name is just not the way that we should be going. Now, what should we call it instead is a great question. I'm sure there are a lot of very smart consultants out there that are trying to figure this out right now. But here's what I, first of all, want to call it as a large title to it. Not maybe something you would call a project, but it is a great rewrite. And as scary as that sounds, we are living through one of the most massive shifts in our way of life that I think we've ever been through before. I compare it sometimes to the horse transition into a car. It's even more massive than that, but it's something that we can relate to. So it is going to be considered a great rewrite of how we live our day-to-day lives. Now, what we like to call it, the actual projects or initiatives within organizations, we like to call it AI activation, not even a transformation, because transformation, you have like this big overwrite, but and it feels very long. AI is going to move much more quickly than that. It's going to be much more individualized. It is going to be democratized. So you have to think about this in a little bit of a different framework than transformation. It is really about activation. So if we have AI native technologies, AI native services, and we have AI activation programs, I think that is the best way to be looking at this. So with that said, if you loved this little reality bite, our AI reality bite video, please hit the like button and subscribe. We'll be getting these to you every other week and then supplemented with a newsletter, which you can subscribe to below.